Welcome to the Daily Pulse. It's Monday, August 26th, 2024, and today's political landscape is on fire. From Trump's Michigan rally targeting blue-collar voters to Kamala Harris making a crucial push in Georgia and a new wave of protests sweeping across the country, today's events are setting the stage for a fierce battle as the election draws closer. Let's break it all down. First up, Donald Trump made his second campaign stop in Michigan in just a week, addressing the National Guard Association's 146th General Conference. His message? A direct appeal to blue-collar voters, focusing on promises to bring back manufacturing jobs and railing against what he calls Biden's economic disaster. Trump is doubling down on Michigan, a state he narrowly lost in 2020, hoping to flip it back in 2024. His strategy is clear: reignite the economic populism that won him the Rust Belt in 2016. But will this approach resonate in a state where economic recovery under Biden has shown signs of improvement? Analysts suggest Trump's success may hinge on whether he can convince voters that his economic vision is the better path forward. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is in Georgia, a critical battleground state, building on the momentum from last week's Democratic National Convention. Harris has been focusing on voter mobilization and expanding the Democratic base, particularly in suburban and rural areas that were pivotal in the 2020 election. Georgia is crucial for the Democrats, not just for its electoral votes, but for maintaining Senate control. Harris's strategy includes highlighting Biden's legislative successes, such as infrastructure projects and healthcare reforms, while also addressing concerns over voter suppression. The question is, can Harris energize the Democratic base enough to counter Republican efforts to reclaim the state? Her performance here could be a bellwether for the national campaign. Segment 3. Protests and grassroots movements. Across the nation, protests are erupting in response to recent state-level legislative moves. In several GOP-led states, new laws targeting abortion rights, LGBTQ+ protections, and voting access have sparked a wave of grassroots activism. These protests, which have been particularly intense in Florida, Texas, and Ohio, are drawing large crowds and significant media attention. These movements are being driven by a coalition of civil rights groups, students, and progressive activists who argue that these laws are part of a broader effort to undermine democracy and human rights. The big question is, will these protests translate into a larger political movement that could influence the midterms and beyond? Or will they be dismissed as fringe actions with limited impact? Segment 4. Analysis. So, what do these events mean as we edge closer to the November election? Trump's aggressive strategy in Michigan shows he's not backing down, but whether it will be enough to win back the Rust Belt remains uncertain. Kamala Harris's efforts in Georgia could either solidify Democratic control or expose vulnerabilities in their strategy, especially if Republican voter suppression tactics prove effective. The protests highlight the deepening divide in the country. On one side, a push for more conservative policies, and on the other, a fierce resistance from progressive groups. This polarization is likely to intensify as we approach Election Day, making every vote and every campaign stop more crucial than ever. Conclusion and call to action. That's a wrap on today's political breakdown for August 26, 2024. With Trump's rally in Michigan, Harris's push in Georgia, and nationwide protests, it's clear that the race is heating up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to The Daily Pulse, your go-to source for the latest in American politics. Share your thoughts on today's events in the comments below, and we'll see you tomorrow with more insights.